The NCAA announced it's limiting women's sports to athletes assigned female at birth, but transgender athletes can still practice with women's teams and receive medical benefits. The change announced Thursday takes effect immediately and follows an executive order President Trump signed on Wednesday, pulling federal funding for those institutions who choose to allow transgender women to compete in women's sports. Meanwhile, in Georgia, the Senate following suit, approving a controversial bill to bar transgender athletes from women's sports. Ariana Manish joining us live from the state capitol. Ariana, so the state Senate passed the bill mostly along party lines. What does this mean for student athletes who hear this coming from the federal level, the state level, and locally as well?
Yes, certainly a lot of attention around transgender rights in this current moment. Now, state Republicans, they say that this is about protecting fairness in girls' sports, but critics, mostly Democrats, they say that this legislation targets a vulnerable group and also addresses something that's not really an issue. Now, we saw this bill pass 35-17 with two Democratic senators Ed Harbison and Senator Freddie Sims Powell, siding with Republicans to advance this measure. Supporters say even if transgender participation in sports hasn't been an issue in Georgia schools, they do have a duty to act. Back in 2022, we saw the Georgia High School Association. They voted to require students to compete based on the sex listed on their birth certificate, which is why critics argue that this bill uses transgender kids as a political target. Take a listen.
This should not be a Republican or a Democratic issue. This should only be about fairness. This should only be about reality and the things that we know are true.
I know where this bill comes from. This bill comes from exclusionary politics that have a natural endpoint, and that natural endpoint is the erasure of trans people.
Now, this is one of four Republican-led legislations that we see moving through the State General Assembly this session. You have two that will limit access to girls' sports, one that will prohibit gender-affirming or hormone therapy to minors, and another that will outlaw gender-affirming care under the health plan for state employees. Now, you do have some lawmakers say the focus should mainly be put on what's really limiting access for women in high school sports, like equal pay for coaches. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll break down that debate. Reporting live from the state capitol, I'm Ariana Manish for 11 Alive. Back to you.
Ariana, thank you. This all coming after Democrats tried to add an amendment to equalize facilities and funding for high school boys and girls sports. That amendment failed. Republicans said they didn't necessarily oppose doing that, but that the amendment didn't give them enough time to vet the proposal.